But if you find a gold mine, you can charge up to $1,000, $1,500. It's completely up to you. Here I'm going to share a complete strategy that will allow you to earn up to $10,000 per month for simply drop servicing on Fiverr. You can implement in order to earn some significant amounts of money online, and I will share a complete blueprint, so you will have all the details, all the information you need in this video, and you can use it in order to make this work. Now, if you're that serious about it, you can actually build an entire business around this idea that I'm going to share with you today, and you can potentially become financially independent. So guys, this is not just a simple trick that will earn you a few cash, and in fact, this is a business model that you can use, a full strategy, a full plan that might turn into a full-time job for you. So depending on how much time you want to spend, how much effort you want to make, you may earn more or less, but this has a huge potential. If you're interested in that, let's move on to step number 1. Guys, if you've been watching my videos for some time, you should be familiar to the concept of drop shipping. That is a very simple concept and yet a very effective one, because many people that are just starting out focus on that particular business model and are quite successful. Basically, people have been able to become millionaires for simply drop shipping products. And in order to explain this process thoroughly, I want you to focus on a smaller scale at first. So let's suppose that your friend actually wants to buy a mobile phone and they are willing to spend $300 for that. And you can find the same smartphone that they want for $200 in a different place. You're going to buy that for $200 and sell it to your friend for $300. If your friend finds out what you have done, he will most likely not be your friend anymore, but that doesn't really matter because you have made a profit of $100. And that is basically how dropshipping works. You will deliver a product to a particular person and you will buy it for less money from a different location. Does that make sense? Well, if it does, that is what we are going to focus on today. But instead of products, instead of physical products, we are going to focus on services. Now, the advantage of dropshipping is that you don't have to store all of those products. You don't have to keep them. You don't have to worry about the shipping process because the original shop where you place the order is going to take care of all that hard stuff and you're only going to get the profits. And basically the same thing goes on with drop servicing. Basically, you're offering your client a certain package and you're going to get it for a lower price from somewhere else. Now, in the following minutes, I'm going to show you 2 different methods that you can go about this. The first one being for lazy people, and the second one for people who want to spend some time and effort trying to figure this out. I'm also going to show you where you can actually order those services for a smaller price and how you can sell them for a profit. Now guys, if you go over to FIVERR.com and you type in website in this search bar and hit enter, you will see a lot of different results ranging in price depending on how much time they spend in order to create that. You can also select your budget here. So let's say that we're willing to spend at most 150 euro on a website. Let's hit apply and see the results. And we still have 150,000 different results. So there's a high competition here. Many businesses out there don't actually have a website. They only have a physical location where they provide their services, but they don't have a website and they are missing out. They are leaving a lot of money on the table and you're going to help them out. Now, don't worry because no skill is needed for this method that I'm teaching you today. You can be a complete beginner and still be profitable with drop servicing because that is the major advantage. You won't have to do anything really other than selling your service. You would only have to sell that particular service that you are providing and not take care about the learning process or the delivery or the shipping or anything of that boring and time-consuming stuff. Now, as you might know by now, there are plenty of other options other than Fiverr. If you want to find a certain service, you can go over to freelancer.com, guru.com, Truelancer. There are a lot of alternatives. You can do some research on the web if you want to, but I will stick to Fiverr in order to illustrate my point now. And now make sure you pay attention to what I'm going to say in the following minutes, because that is the strategy that is going to earn you up to $10,000 per month for simply drop servicing. If you do this correctly, if you implement a system that is working, you can go all the way up. There is no upper limit. Basically, the sky is the limit here. And now we're moving on to the first method that you can earn significant amounts of money for simply drop servicing. And that is going to Upwork.com or platforms that are similar in concept to this one and outsourcing your work. Basically, you will simply have to post a gig such as these ones here on Upwork. And whenever you get a client, whenever you get an order, you will go over to FIVERR.com and pay less in order to get the same product. So let's say that you actually want to offer a website. You go over to Upwork.com, you create a nice gig. You can also use Fiverr in order to do that. And let's say that you actually decide to have a price of 20 euro for your website. Now, if you want to have that delivered and you want it to be high quality, you go over to fiverr.com and find one that is just a little bit less expensive. So this one for 14 euro is quite a good example of that. You can earn a 6 euro profit for doing absolutely nothing other than posting a gig on Upwork. And the best part is that you can repeat the process because there is no limit to how many gigs you can post. You can do the same thing in a different niche, even though I believe that creating a website is very popular nowadays and it might be a good choice, but you can also create the logo, you can create content for Instagram or YouTube, anything you can think of. You've got all of these categories here on the top of the page, such as graphics and design, digital marketing, so you can be creative and pick your own choice. And I will be 100% honest with you guys because your chances of being picked on Upwork are quite slim. So if people have so many options, crazy number like 150,000 different services, they're most likely not going to pick your service. So instead of waiting for the client to come to you and ask for your service, you can actually go to them. And by typing something similar to dentists in Oklahoma or accountants or everything you can think about, you can actually do precisely that. And now what I want you to do is go over to all of these different results here and see the ones, find the gold mines, the ones that don't have a website, because they are most likely going to have an email where you can contact them and offer them your service, and they will be interested in that because you are giving them more exposure for simply having a website, so they are going to make bigger profits because of that. So they will be very likely to want to collaborate with you. Now you might actually need some skills in order to do that, in order to persuade them. So instead of telling them that you're going to create a website, you can say something like, I'm going to improve your online presence and things like that, because that is going to attract them. And now I'm also going to share a second method you can go about this, one that actually requires quite a bit of work, but if you're successful, the potential is limitless. What I want you guys to do is go over to fiverr.com once again and type in video editing. That is going to show you a lot of results, 25,000 in my case. And you will see very talented people who spend their time doing exactly that, editing video. Up next, I want you to go over to Instagram.com and find people in a certain niche. Let's say that you want to focus on fitness entrepreneurs and coaches, such as this guy here, and you want to find the ones that do not really edit their videos. So this guy has a lot of raw videos on his profile, so he might be interested in improving the quality of his videos. So what you can do is do some outreaching, try to find as many people that fit this pattern, that have all these qualities that you're looking for. Their videos should not be edited, because if they are, it means that they are already paying someone else and there's no place for you in that equation. But if you find a gold mine, you can charge up to $1,000, $1,500. It's completely up to you, because you are going to sell them a full package. You will say that you're going to improve their social media presence, and you're not only going to deliver video editing. It highly depends on the way that you manage to actually sell your service. Now you might have to do some work, because not all people are going to be interested. So if you can find a client out of 100 people that you have contacted, that is quite enough, because that is going to earn you a lot of money, and that is recurring payment, because you're going to get it every single month. That is the best thing about this business strategy that you can implement. The fact that you can earn that kind of money every single month, because this client will want to collaborate with you over and over. And let's say that you get $1,000 for selling this service, and you actually outsource all of the work on Fiverr for about 10 euro for a single video. That is going to keep about $800 in your pocket at the end of the month. And that is for a single client. And imagine that you're working with multiple clients every single month. So hopefully you can now see the potential that this method has of earning up to $10,000 per month, or even more than that, depending on how serious you are about it and how much work you're willing to put